Good morning everyone. Today we are going to start with history 9th standard chapter number 1, that is French Revolution. Now before starting with the chapter, in our 9th standard history textbook we are having topics which covered international history. It tells us so many events which is related to international history or international events. Now, when we are talking about international events, the most important events nationally or internationally, which is commonly called as revolution. Now, before starting with the French Revolution, first let us talk about what is revolution or what do we mean by revolution. When we're talking about the revolution we can say that is a sudden or radical changes that occurs in society intentionally. It is maybe political, social or economical. So what do we mean by revolution? See, revolution means any sudden change or any radical change which occurs in our society, and that change does not occurs naturally, but it occurs intentionally. That means we human beings or we people want that change, and to bring that change we put an effort, and because of that effort, that change has occurred in our society. That change may be political, may be social or may be economical. Let's take an example. When we are talking about the political change or political revolution, the best example we can have nationalism nationalism in India, or we can say our freedom struggle in India. We want freedom from Britishers. We want to make ourselves free from the rule of the British colonies, for which we try to put change in our country, try to put change in our society. We put many efforts, and that is called as nationalism. And because of that, we got freedom. That means we change our society, we put an effort, which is called as revolution. Same way, when we are talking about social revolution, you can say that social revolutions means when we intentionally wants to change something in our society. Like so many social evils are there in our society. Sati system was there before. Child marriage is also there. Many social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Jyotiba Phule, Mahatma Gandhi is also a social reformer. They put an effort. Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, they put an effort to change social evils in our society. And because their effort, they changed our society, they changed social evils in our society, which can be termed as social revolution. Now, when we are talking about economic revolution, the best example was before 4 years when our Prime Minister Modi ji has given us one policy, economic policy, which is demonetization. Demonetization means when 500 new 500 notes have been there, old 500 notes have been demolished, 2000 notes are there, okay, which is called as economic revolution. So revolution means any sudden or radical changes that occurs intentionally in our society, because we want them to occur. As our society changes, as time changes, we want new things. We want that change in our society. So that changes are called as revolution. Now over here we are talking about French Revolution. Now what is French Revolution? See, there are many things before in 18th century. When we talk about 18th century, France is suffering from many political or social problems, because of which people are suffering, and that agitation or that irritation people is having, which leads to French Revolution. But there is one event which is the most important event in French Revolution, because that particular event is lead to French Revolution. That particular event is very important because it gives people hope to start with the revolution, to make themselves free from the despotic rule in France, because on that time France is having monarchy and people don't want that monarchy ruler. So that's why they wanted to start with the revolution, but they are not getting any outbreak. That particular event gives outbreak to people to start with the French Revolution. Now what is that event? That event is called as the event of 1789. This particular question also comes in your exam as explain event of 1789. On that time you can have these points on your answer. So when we are talking about the event of 1789, we can also call it as outbreak of revolution, because that particular event leads to French Revolution. That particular event gives people hope to start with the revolution against despotic rule in France. Now we will see what happens in that particular event. The main important parts or the main important things which occurs in that particular event, which changes the French politics, which changes the France politics, which changes the outlook of the people, that brings to the revolution. So this particular event occurred on 14th July 1789 in Paris. Now how this particular event occurred? In 14th July 1789, for some reason, King Louis XVI, on that time, he was a ruler of France. King Louis XVI commanded troops to move into Paris. For some reason, King Louis XVI commanded it to army or the troop of one army to go to Paris for some reason, and that on that time, actually, King don't want to attack people. For some reason, for some security reason, he ordered troops to move to Paris. But in Paris, rumors have been spread, which is rumors. Actually, it was not correct. It was a rumor which spread that King ordered his army to open fire on citizens in Paris. That was a rumor. That was not an actual. That was not a reality. That is a rumor. But that rumor spread in Paris that King sent it troops to Paris so that those troops can attack citizens. Those troops can open fire on citizens, because of which people get feared. Or on that fear, or because of that fear, in that fear, 7,000 people gathered together, including men and women. Out of fear, they gathered together because rumors has been spread that King sent the troop into Paris to attack the citizens or open fire on citizens, which is not correct, because King commanded troops to move into Paris for some security reason. But because of that rumor which spread in the Paris, people got feared, and out of that fear, 7,000 people combined together. 7,000 people come together, and they see, when we say that out of fear, that means people are thinking that army was coming and army was attacking them, and they don't have any arms and ammunition. Now out of fear, people decided that they will fight with the army, and if they wanted to fight with the army, they want arms and ammunition, and people don't have that arms and ammunition. And to gather those arms and ammunition, 7,000 people, men and women, including men and women, they gathered together and they attacked Bastille Fort in search of arms and ammunition. Why they attacked Bastille Fort? They attacked Bastille Fort because they wanted to fight with the army, and to fight with the army, they want arms and ammunition, and to gather and to collect those arms and ammunition, they attacked Bastille Fort and in search of arms and ammunition. So when they attacked Bastille Fort, or we can say that people decided to make militia of people. Militia of people means people make themselves as a military. Citizens military. Militia means citizens military. People make themselves as a military, which is called as militia of people, so that they can fight with the army which is sent by king. Okay, as we have seen that actually the king is not sending the army to attack the people, but rumors have been spread that king has sent the army to attack the people, and out of that fear, people wanted to fight with the army, and for fighting with the army, people want arms and ammunition. Now from where they will get that arms and ammunition? Because of which they attack, because of which 7,000 people gathered in one place and they attacked Bastille Fort in search of arms and ammunition, which says that people make their own military, which is called as militia of people. Militia of people means people make their own military. After that, when people attack Bastille Fort, when they attack Bastille Fort, on that time there are some prisoners in Bastille Fort, and by attacking Bastille Fort, people killed commander of Bastille, and 7 prisoners have been released. There are only 7 prisoners in that fort. On that time of attack, the commander of Bastille Fort was killed, And by taking the benefit of that, or by taking the advantage of that, 7 prisoners have been released, or seven prisoners has released from their Bastille fort. After that, people now, as we are saying that people are having a fear that army will attack them, king's army will attack them, and they wanted to fight with the army. That is why they went to the Bastille to, we have seen over here, they went to the Bastille in search of arms and ammunition. Or when they attack Bastille, when they get the arms and ammunition, why they destroy? We have seen that they destroyed fort. Why they destroyed fort? As I have told you when we have started with the lecture, I have told you that people are having a hatred against the despotic rule or against the monarchy rule in France. People don't want a monarch rule, people don't want a despotic rule in France. To take the revenge, what people do when they attack Bastille fort, they also destroy the Bastille fort to take the revenge on despotic rule in France. To take the revenge on king, like let's take an example, the best example which I can give, if I don't like anyone, like especially when small children don't like any uncle. Why? Because many times it happens when they are playing the cricket. Let's take an example, when children are playing a cricket, one uncle was there, was always disturbing them, who was always shouting on them. So what children will do? They can't do, they have a hatred against that uncle, but they are not able to harm that uncle. So what they will do, if that uncle is having a scooty or car, they will smash that car. Maybe they put things on that car, or maybe they smash the bike which that uncle is having. They wanted to take revenge, or you can say that they wanted to irritate that particular uncle, because they hate that uncle, क्योंकि वो uncle उनको खेलने नहीं देता है. But over here the same thing happens. People is having a hatred against the despotic rule in France. People is having hatred against the monarch king or monarch rule in France. So to take the revenge, what people do? People destroy the fort. Initially, they go there they go there in search of arms and ammunition. But when they get arms and ammunition, they took the revenge, to take that revenge, people destroyed fort of Bastille. After destroying the Bastille fort, what people do? They sold those stones, those fragmented stones of fort in market as a souvenir of destruction of despotic rule. Souvenir means as a symbol. They wanted to have that symbol, or they wanted to have that memory that they do something against despotic rule, because of which they are selling those fragmented stones in market to show the symbol of unity, or to show the symbol that they started with the revolution against the despotic rule. So over here we can say that this particular event is an outbreak in France to start with the French Revolution. After that, so many things are there because of which people started with the French Revolution, but this was the first event of French Revolution. This was the first thing which people do to start with the revolution, to start with the change which they want in France, which is called as the event of 1789. Once again, I am revising that event for you. So listen over here. When we are talking about the event of 1789, it is the outbreak of French Revolution. We can say that it is the starting of the French Revolution, and because of the so many reasons. The most important reason was the despotic rule in France. So in that particular event, what happens? This event occurred on 14th July 1789 in Paris. The King Louis XVI commanded troops to move into Paris for some reasons, but rumors spread that the king ordered army to open fire in citizens, and out of fear people attacked fort of Bastille in search of arms and ammunition to fight with the king, or to fight with the army which is sent by king. They attacked the fort, they killed the commander of Bastille fort, they released the 7 prisoners, they destroyed the fort to take the revenge on despotic rule in France. Okay, now we will see you. I will see you in next lecture. That is the second part of this particular lecture. Till then, thank you.
Sir.